in my late 20s. I can't remember exactly which birthday it was. I was sitting at the table, and my sister looked at me and she said, you know, you'd be a really good preacher. And me, being a full-blown atheist, looked at her and said, I'd rather die than teach the Word of God. My story is really the long way home. As a child growing up, God was more just somebody you called on when you needed something, kind of an emergency fire extinguisher in the case. The older I got, the more exposed I became to the darkness in the world. My parents went through a divorce. I had some family members that struggled spiritually, and I really didn't have a lot of good answers. I went off to college and I ended up just walking away. I had really just got to a point where I didn't believe that God existed, and I was a full-blown atheist. And one night, I was driving home from class, and I just started thinking, what can I see and what around me doesn't have a creator? And I couldn't think of anything. And I'm looking around my car, I'm looking at everything outside, and nothing that I can see that's tangible or that I can see, touch, or feel doesn't come from somewhere or something. My thought was, you might want to rethink this whole thing. My journey back to God really began with two pastors that were willing to teach me in a rational and logical way that really made sense to me. It equipped me to build that foundational relationship with Christ. I really think for me, there wasn't just one instant moment where I gave my life to Christ. It really was just a slow, sort of this erosion process of my heart that led me back. One of the things that's always stuck out to me about Jesus is his brutal honesty. There's just such an authenticity and a genuineness, but then also, you have all of this love and grace at the same time, and you put that together, and for me, it just has to be true. The pastor of our church out in Colorado, he was really challenging us about what we thought our gifts were. I told him, I said, well, I do a lot of teaching at work, and I think, one of my gifts is just teaching people things. And he says, oh, really? Well, I'm gonna be on vacation in a couple of weeks. Let's put you on the calendar to preach. And I said, what? It was kind of like an out-of-body experience. I was thinking back to that evening at that restaurant and what I had said to my sister, and I was like, God, you really have a good sense of humor. I started out on the right track and on a good track, and just veered off, got lost, and somehow, not even really somehow, but just through God's love, God's grace, God's mercy, I was able to find my way home.